Hey guys, here's my comic reviews for last week. Since I've only got 3 things to review, I am going to do some announcements afterwards. So, we're going to start with least favorite to best. Now, there wasn't anything I disliked. This was the only one that was just okay. This is Star Wars issue 16. Focuses on 2 main plots going on. We have Luke is pissed off at everything because Leia's getting married for the rebellion, which is stupid in itself, but I'll let that slide because that wasn't focused on all that much in this issue. This issue was big, and I say this a lot with some of the comics I get. Lots of stuff doesn't happen, but with Star Wars, there's a lot of pages in it. So when nothing happens in it, like in the last issue, or stupid stuff happens, it's lengthy and tedious. But when stuff does happen, it's enjoyable, or it's lengthy and tedious if it's stupid. Well, since we're going through a stupid story arc, Wood does the best he can with the material he has to work with. We have the planet they're staying at, because nothing's memorable about this planet, but their planetary guard is pissed because they can't get regular X-Wings, they get outdated X-Wings, and they don't like Wedge because of it. They take it out on him. I don't care about Wedge at the moment. Wedge isn't the cool Wedge he is in the Rogue Squadron. He's just kind of an asshole and grumpy, so I don't care. Luke's grounded after the last issue because he decided to screw up for some reason, just to lash out. So Luke tries to go talk to Leia, and he's just basically out of kind of a rage. He's dedicating himself more to the rebellion and being a ground soldier. So what ends up happening is he can't get a hold of Leia. He actually ends up going with these rangers up into the mountains where he gets altitude sickness because he's from Tatooine, and Tatooine doesn't really have mountains. It's kind of a flat desert. So, yeah, that's really interesting. And then more interesting, an Imperial tanker ship, Star Destroyer flies by the planet, and spoilers, Leia goes up there to ship with C-3PO, and then Han and Chewie take the Falcon up there, and they check it out, and it seems kosher, and then the ship goes back into light speed. It goes in light speed, and it goes away, leaving a probe droid that they don't notice. So and that's how the issue ends. Oh, and the prince is up to no good for some reason to fuck with the rebellion. I don't know if they're working with the Empire or they just don't like the rebellion. But yeah, that's Star Wars 16. It gets a passive 3 out of 5 stars because it was better than last issue. Next, moving on, we've got a conclusion to a story arc. This is Manifest Destiny number 6. In this story arc, we've had things that were like minotaurs and plant people, and a badass Sacagawea. Unfortunately, in this, what I was looking forward to was some more Sacagawea action, and we didn't get that. We got action alright, which was fine, but I just would have liked to see more Sacagawea, because she's actually the most fascinating character out of all of them, and she's barely been in it. That's probably why I'm fascinated by her. Hopefully she'll be in the next story arc, but this is probably my favorite Image series right now. Well, it's tied with Walking Dead, because that's been intense lately too, but with Manifest Destiny issue 6, they go into the heart of the forest at the end of issue 5, and they're surrounded by plants. Animals that have been taken over by plants. And so the comic opens with Lewis and Clark and another guy being chased by the Floras controlling a grizzly bear, and it's chasing them, and they end up killing it, and then Lewis and Clark get sucked into a giant Venus flytrap thing that may or may not be an alien. Because the Flora stuff is becoming more apparent, especially with this issue, that it's not from Earth. It's some weird alien thing, which is weird in itself. It ends up sucking Lewis and Clark in there, and one of them has good dreams where he's fucking every woman ever. And the other one's killing Native Americans and having a horrible nightmare. And Sacagawea comes and saves their asses, and that's pretty much how the mission ends, with them just going. It was a great way to end the story arc. I'm excited for the trade because Devin's going to get it, and probably Logan's going to get it, and we can all talk about it. So yeah. That gets 4 out of 5 stars. Because it was pretty damn good. Next, moving on, a Marvel #1. I know, I try not to do #1s anymore, but this one, because of Amazing X-Men and how that first arc ended, I had to pick up Nightcrawler #1, and this is a Chris Claremont book, which is exciting. I don't remember ever reading Chris Claremont, I just know he's a good writer. So, this was a fun issue, because Nightcrawler's not a brooding asshole like a lot of Marvel's characters have been lately. And he's not too goofy like Deadpool. He's a fun guy to have around. Well, Nightcrawler's not, he's not doing well in the Jean Grey school. Storm wants him to be a professor, but he's not really fitting in at all, and some of the kids are like, oh, it's Nightcrawler, what a weirdo. But then he ends up hooking up with some hot fling. Like, he teleports to see her, and then she's attacked by a giant robot monster, and so he teleports her away, and he beats the shit out of the monster, only getting his ass kicked as well. He ends up knocking a wall on it. And that's how the issue ends. It was a really solid issue. And now they're starting to tie in Wolverine's idiotic story with him losing his healing factor. Which I should talk about that. So it opens with the Nightcrawler and Wolverine sparring, and Nightcrawler pushes Wolverine too far, and Wolverine pulls out his claws, which I forgot because I have refused to read the current Wolverine series because it just comes off as stupid. Wolverine using guns is just dumb. But Wolverine pulls out his claws, but he doesn't have his healing factor anymore, so he starts to bleed out. And I'm just like, no. No. But besides that, this was a solid book. I'd have to give it 4.9 out of 5 stars, because that one point with Wolverine's idiotic storyline, it has to be tied into this. It just slightly took it off. But yeah, that's my reviews for this week. And now to some news. So as you know, in case you didn't know, I'm unemployed, so it's very hard for me to get comics, and I'm running out of money. I sell some of my stuff periodically, but that doesn't make enough. So what I'm going to do is I might not be able to make a haul every week like I usually do. Instead, what I'm going to do, and I was going to do this anyway, is I'm going to start reviewing story arcs, current story arcs, at least within the past 2 years of story arcs with stuff I collect. So, because specifically I want to talk about some Marvel Now story arcs, I want to talk about some New 52 story arcs, and just all that in general, or even some Dark Horse or Image. If Devin and I don't agree to do a D&J review on it, we won't. I'll review it just as an arc and review it differently than we would a D&J review where we look at the whole book. I'm going to review it issue to issue, and then give you a whole opinion on the ups and the downs of the story. So expect those once or twice a month. An update on D&J reviews. Devin and I decided on what we were going to do a month ago. It's just we haven't had time with his work schedule and my school schedule to have a time where we can get together for a long period of time to reread the book, because it's been a long time since I reread it. I think he just finished rereading it, but he has, if you know Devin's Comics, he's got a ton of trades, so he's been swamped with reading. And with that being said, the book is 5 Ronin. It's a Marvel book with 5 Marvel characters in medieval Japan. And we wanted to review it. I think it's probably, I really enjoyed the book, but you're going to hear more formulated opinions on it, the ups and the downs, and yeah. And unfortunately, he owns a copy, and I don't have a copy at the moment. So yeah. And in other news, school sucks. My English class got canceled today, so that's how I got to make this video. The last 2 reviews, I as I said, I lost them, and I was going to refilm them, but I didn't see a point. It would just take way too long. So, yeah. I don't think there's anything else to talk about. No. I have stuff to sell. I sell to my comic shop. I do several different selling things. I sell my digital codes on Reddit, and I sell some single issues to my shop. Like, if I have a first print of something that's like a #1, I'll sell it back to them. For some store credit, generally, is how it works. But actually, I got cash back once for selling a bunch of out-of-printed stuff. But yeah, right now, I got a second copy of Supergirl issues 1 and 2. And because I ordered it on accident, because I didn't know I could get the issues 1 through 11 for a steal. And I ended up doing that. And this got lost in the mail because of all the storms happening on the East Coast. Because I ordered this a few months ago, and it finally got here a couple days ago. I think it got here on Saturday, to my knowledge. And as you all know, I think you guys know, some of you do, I'm trying to limit the back issues I get now. I'm on a budget. But that didn't stop me from going into some bartering war over some Punisher Max stuff, as in hardcovers. Because, as you know, I love the Max series, but I'm at that point in the series where everything's like out of print and very hard to find. And no, I didn't get a volume 4, but I got something almost as good. And yeah. Anyway, guys, have a nice day. And I'll be able to get my comics tomorrow because I have a doctor's appointment. So, yay! I actually get my comics the day they come out. Hooray! I'm really tired, so have a nice day, guys.